Hello guys, this is another OptiCode. The thing is, I'm a bit low on motivation, and I was planning to work with the Bizarro engine, OptiDoom. Very soon I will have to work with OptiDoom, other 3D stuff, and other stuff outside. I was doing silent with, I was doing something with the 286 and even ported the engine on the PC to fix some stuff. But I have been planning a lot since a month or two, at least a month. But then I couldn't find myself sitting down and doing it. So I thought, what if I, instead of my randy videos about things not many people are interested or might enrage them, what if I did some coding session, some live coding session? And it's going to be a bit awkward, of course, because it's very off the plan. It's just press record and start doing stuff. What if I do stuff I had in my mind, either concerning the 3D and other urgent project or random stuff, just to put me back a bit and maybe have some lousy live stream. It's not even a live stream because I don't want to do this live. I want to start capturing the video, and then if it's fine, I'll upload. Just to motivate me a bit. Set a plan like, okay, today I'm going to start working on something, but I will record myself so that I have more motivation to actually make it work instead of looking around. And I couldn't, during the process of recording, I couldn't just open Chrome and look at my Twitter or whatever, or my Discord. I will reply to this one soon. There is a private request about OptiDoom. I will reply, but first I said don't do anything else, because if you come back with a little bit of motivation to work on something and then you start checking social media and typing, in here like, oh, I'm having an idea to port Kingsfield on 3DO or something. Yeah, I know we all like to, or some of us, to post previews because it's motivating, but it's also a trap. Because it's a little surge of dopamine, even talking about your project. Like, I'm so excited about this, and then you're not excited. So it's, the excitement is easy. What you do after is how you feel. Right now I feel all the pressure in me. And I realize that some things are not going to progress if I don't, sometimes at least, if I don't say, you know what, here is what I have in the plan, I'm doing this. Because the previous day, it's not that I wasn't coding. Sometimes I was coding a lot of stuff for my 286, not just this one, but also the project I have in this one. In fact, I might have been doing a lot of stuff. Now I diverted from the main video point. I might have been silently working September. There is a bit of a skip here, but then I was working on the engine. I even made some new effects. Then I was setting some old PCs and I was watching 486 demos. And in the morning I did something in quick basic. Totally random stuff, because there is something in me that, I would like to try this effect or this optimization in that one, that specific thing. Technical thing. I just woke up in the morning and I had this idea. And that's a short burst of motivation. But when you have to work with big projects especially if you were to start something new. And I had 3, 4, 5 things in my mind to start. And that's a diversion. So anyway, this is also a side thing. It's a 3D thing, but at least it's something that I was planning before, like, let's try to add this extra thing in my engine. And I will go on the main experiments. And maybe last time I might have done, yeah, I have added dummy project. We'll see what, so that I populate with a new idea. And the idea was, can I add a skybox renderer in my 3D engine, which I can later move to the Bizarro engine, because those code bases are similar in some aspects. The Bizarro engine just has the extra grid stuff, which I'm not going to add here because those are more individual examples. And the other thing I was doing is I was looking at some skyboxes. This is just a repeating. This is not. This one is not. See, this is a tile in background, which could also be good. Yeah, that's a very standard one. So I have to see. Those are some. Maybe later I will add this one, but I have to convert them first. And this is very high res. So my goal will be to take those and convert them. See, I don't even have the right tools. I have the 3D. But I don't have it there. So if I was to start, these are 512 by 512, okay. I'm definitely going for something smaller, but I said multiply. And 6 of them, no, it's not gonna. Now, at best I'm going for that, which is big. I'm going to also make that 128. God. I'm feeling the dreads of it also. I noticed no, I don't need to go there. I noticed there's a new version. There is a new version. Just get that one. I'm gonna have to Oh, those are BMPs. God, I need to do some work with that. Damn it. Okay, hold on a bit. So I paused a bit, I'm back, and I converted those into smaller ones. So this is like 256 by 256. And then I did 128 by 128. In case we realize 256 is too big, either for memory or for rendering. But maybe 128 will be fine. Maybe it will be too low res. So I need to remember how this tool worked. And I should have automated some of the process, but maybe that's for the future. To sell. Options, subcommand. So if I say back PNG, uncoded unpacked, our target will be 16 BPP because those are, for now, those have a lot of color, which will be slower. Now, can I say, okay, back PNG, back cell? Can I give a name? Because Pavlov outputs. I see. Okay, now I see you. I'm not going to automate this now. Like, I need to remember with batch file or others how to. You know, since this is a video and trying to not waste time, I'm gonna do the tedious front, top. Very, very fast. Yeah, this is something one could automate. I don't want to do it in the video. I need to remember how to do it on a batch file, or some people use Python. Again, it's something I would be spending half an hour doing this. So I'll do it like that. Okay, we got our cells. And I'm simplifying the names back, bottom, so that we can start with that. I'm going to, because there are a lot of files, and it's such a mess here, so I'm going to say skybox. And we have two types. Thinking about I could have done something else, but I could have this one and then could have that and that, so that the names are the same when I test. I mean, fine. Let's do it fast now. And this is something outside of the video I will automate at some point. I should have done this out of the video too. And as I said, it's going to be, those videos going to be awkward and clunky. Because all the reason I'm doing is to motivate myself. If I'm capturing myself doing work, it's impossible to go check my Discord for 10 minutes, go somewhere to eat. So I'm and even if it doesn't work, say I capture this and it's awful, and I'm like, I have released more awful stuff. I have released 3 hours video where it's like awful production, and I'm not even producing my stuff. So we have that. So when I want to switch the resolution, I'm gonna change just the folder and not have to go say back to, bottom to, front to, left to, right to later in my code. So now I'm going to see what we have here because I don't even remember. Last time, see, this is an old one. You see effect mesh skybox. This is 16 August. Since 16 August, 1 month ago, I decided to, as a motivator, to say, hey, let's make a skybox in my engine. Because I was curious to see, can I have a skybox instead of this star background, and how overhead it will be. I believe it will have a lot of overhead, and how to make it, to clip it properly. I'm going to subdivide it in polygons. So this is something I started. This is a dummy thing. It doesn't show anything. It doesn't show the skybox. It just shows maybe the grid. Okay, it shows the regular grid, the one I'm going to remove, and some object. This is a new object. It has issues with, oh, see, oh my god, it has visibility issues there. Doesn't matter, I wanted to do it. I wanted to load this awful object. I can change that. By the way, this is overclock, so don't expect much of a speed with this one. Maybe this object has a lot of polygons. Also, 4DO is a bit slower. At 100% speed, sometimes the CPU is under performing. And this object has a lot of polygons anyway. So I have prepared, this was an empty example with just an object, so that I get myself starting working. And I can have the teapot 3DO if I wanted. But I don't start myself working, I'm just looking. See, many times I start working and I'm looking at things I did before. Oh, that's nice, let's go around. Oh, I have the teapot, nice. And also the flip poly order. See, it must be over half an hour, and I haven't focused on what I said. It's gonna be. I just want the object to have some something in front compared to the skybox. And I'm going to remove the grid. I have to do something else. I don't know if I'm doing it here. Maybe I'll do it later. Oh, those are backed from. Because I might be doing some crappy for the other examples. It's very hacky, this one. Where do I do that? I don't seem to be doing it here. Is there any if here? Yeah. This is for the ground. Let's remove the grid here. No grid size. This is grid texture. Grid pile. It will simplify even. I guess at place 0, this is a priority thing. So the grid was rendered first and then the objects. At place 0, we are going to add the skybox. And let's see what we have done. I'm still used to. Oh, the grid is still there. What the hell? Now you can go under, which is good. This is what I wanted. I got then free movement, so that I can observe the skybox from all corners. And why is there a grid there? Because, oh my god, am I rendering the grid twice? This could be why it was slower. I don't have. Okay, hold. Make it clear. This something stayed in. Oh god, oh! No, that's what I'm running. The skybox example. Ah, yeah. Unbelievable. Some of the code. So, maybe I didn't save. I forgot to save. See how much faster it is without the grid. Even on the slower. And now that we will add the skybox is going to be. Now I'm going to erase that, maybe 250. Because I want the compile and test process to be a bit faster. The run process. I know I have other options. I have Phoenix, I have the Opera MU that I still haven't used because I have to set up RetroArch and all that stuff. And set up a specialized version. And Phoenix, if you run Phoenix, you have to go click here and then, you know, this one is more accurate to the real thing. You have to wait. For some reason, Phoenix doesn't display a banner screen. I don't know why. This is more like how it will run on the real 3DO. Maybe a bit less because of cell, although it's flat shaded anyway. I haven't started working on the thing. So I think now, and I have commented out this one. I need to make it into an option to disable the ground collision. It was like a hack. So now this is the hardest. I will start have to work with something. Skybox obj. I will have to generate this one. I will go here on the procgen mess, procedural generation of the messes. Recently I did something nice for the stars, which I might have to see if it's possible with the skybox. Put it here, how, whatever. Eesh. Maybe we will do it. Maybe we'll do it, guys. Because, you know, how do we start now? Eventually, I might subdivide it with something like the grid. We will see. I could make 6 grids. Now that's an option. That's a way to do it. But I might want to make. I think we will need 6 grids. but it will be different. Oh boy. There is some goal. It's not going to tile the text, it's going to split the textures. The other idea is, let's see how bad it will be if you made it into a cube, but now the cube is huge, and you see why I know that this is the wrong way to do it on 3DO. Because if you had a huge texture area, it's gonna be distorted and also not clipped properly. But what would happen? That's the idea. What would happen if you store the cube code? As I say, this is going to be awkward, not planned. It's more like a coding session. I know why some decisions might not be the best, but I want to say if I'm lazy, if I want to make a skybox. Normally you have to subdivide the grid for the 6 sizes somehow. I have an idea. However, you have 6 textures, so oh boy, I have to load the textures. Let's make a cube. Let's make a cube. I'm doing this. I'm not using the software renderings. I don't want this. Okay, let's load the texture. Do I actually load textures here? Do I ever have the option to load texture? Init texture, load. I have a load texture, okay. Have I used it somewhere? Because all my textures in this example are procedurally generated. Do I have an example where I actually loaded a texture? I have loaded some 2D textures. Ah, I know one example. Maybe it's the Bugo. Wait. Ah, yeah, okay. The feedback, but it's on the effects. And still, I'm loading a texture in the... I'm thinking, okay. The mosaic thing. Again, that one, the slime cube. It's the same texture. So I will drag cool text. It's a texture. This is how I work with Notepad, Notepad++, total command. And you just, when you init gen mesh, you pass it. Sky text. Now I have some good facilities here. Yeah, I could do that. I could test the engine. I have created a logic in the engine. Although I don't know if I remove that logic to simplify things on Book of the Cat, Bizarro engine. Hold on. I need to. I'm confused now. So I have done this when you. Oh God. In each gen mess, I pass a texture pointer text. Now you can't see it. MS text, but it's not that. It's. I need to see that. I don't even remember. Yeah, we have load text. Okay. Oh, init texture, init textures. So you can init one texture. That's a bit awkward though. Init textures. This doesn't work. Hold on though. Load texture. I need to see how to handle that. We can. I'm allocating memory for many textures. What if you have them already? See, you don't need to call. What is confusing me here? I don't want to. When I load a texture, it's calling init texture. So I have a system where you can load textures, but maybe it's the pointers. No, it has to be continuous. Oh, but okay. Hold on. Do I see now? It's awkward. Because I could do it badly and be done with it. Because when I load texture now, it will call that. Which will call that? Which will okay? It will separately allocate. But just the texture objects, not the bitmaps. Now you are passing the bitmap. I've done it in such a way that it's the same bitmap is going to be used again and again. Because maybe I load the texture with a bitmap and then I want to manipulate the bitmap in later sessions. Ah, that's not going good. No, I can make a hack now. I'm going to call load texture 6 times. I'm not going to pass it. It's not the thing is what it's going to do later. It's going to return me a texture pointer. I will have to make some manual copy. Damn. And those have to be in succession if I recall well. It can be. It has to be like that. I think it's not hard. Okay. So here is the plan. Let's separate this so that I don't mix it with a lot of other code. Let's start with the okay. Static void init object 3D. Let's isolate things so that it's easier. This is the loaded object. Now we are creating the viewer there. Is there a reason viewer create viewer? I don't mind. I don't remember if I put this one here beforehand. If it has, maybe it's irrelevant. Add camera to worlds. Here a camera my goal, and then we add the object. Maybe it's irrelevant. Maybe it doesn't have to. I don't want to break things. That's all. So okay, hold on. Hold on now. So what if we do this before and later we add the camera? Do we break anything? Do we not break anything? I still had that open. Oh. That's God. Teapot object. Oh, we don't even. No, we do it. No, we don't. So after we create the world, we. What the hell? We do that. Previously we did it previously. Doesn't matter now. I'm just messing up. The idea was. Okay. What if the order of adding first the camera in the world and the player and then the object, what if it mattered? Okay, it doesn't seem to matter. Don't see the fast frame rate. I have overclocked the 3D. So we are maybe 1 hour in and you haven't seen anything related to Skybox. As I said, those are going to be just some stream to make me push me work on things. Yeah. Now I want to just I don't even know the order. How should I do it? Also, I know how I will do it. I will do it back. So let me see. The way I'm usually creating the right, front, left, and I can change that. Top, bottom. The way I usually pre-generate the cube. You know, right nowadays a modeler would I'm pre-generating stuff. I'm spending time. We just scrap a 3D model, which you still had to write code to read, but then here is a skybox, here is a sphere box. Sphere box, sphere, sky sphere, hemisphere, sphere box. And I think I'm going to maybe I wanted to do the rendering part, generation part, because now I have to do this extra wall. Yeah, this will be added in memory, but just a hack. Okay, no, you know what, sir? Let's do it. I don't remember. Put something big. I don't remember. And then was it Freeman? And did you put something else? I have forgotten how. You have to give the size. Or -1 if you want. Okay, I have the size, I don't care. So I'm gonna allocate this for my path. And maybe I can use some sprintf here. That's a hacky thing, okay. Data skybox. And here we can have 256. And we can change that one to 128 later. This 128 is not this one. It's just the size of the path. Dot cell. And I think you could say skybox text name. You can even call it side or something. Side name. Yeah, naming. Okay, whatever. Yeah, okay, fine. Skybox sides. Put them together. I like to put this high. Oh, this one is 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. 4, 16. Yeah, more than 60 something. That's the length of the path. Will be okay. You can put the max path. There is a max path for the Opera OS. No, I used to say static char file path. Things like that. But that will take memory and not release it. But a tiny amount of memory. So. So I think I'm doing that right. I don't know. Skybox text. Oh, that needs a pointer. See, here's the problem now. We're going to say texture temp text. Now, because we want to load the whatever texture. Ah, hold on, here we forgot something, isn't it? Ah, yeah. File path. Where are we going to save that? We are creating automatically the file. I could have gone and say load texture this 6 times. Sometimes I do when I'm in a hurry and I don't want to automate it. And I'm going to also free mem temp text. Init textures, but it's a single one. So I added this init texture so that you could, as a mechanism, but it's not a good mechanism. Because here it will call init texture with a bitmap. You provide load texture, we load the cell, and the where's the cell bitmap? Huh. Sorry. It's going to pass a null for a bitmap. And a null for a bitmap, if no bitmap, allocate memory. Oh. I might wanted to make empty space, like generate 6 texture in a sequence, so that the result is not an array of points. This is an array of textures. Without this would be wrong. This is a system that confused myself who I wrote it. But this is how my engine takes. So later, my engine and maybe that's not the best. In the mesh, I have poly data. Every polygon has its own data. And it has num points. Is it a triangle or a quad? Now, 3DO doesn't have triangles, it has quad, but I moved 2 points together to make a triangle. And I have a texture ID and palette ID and some other stuff. Texture shifts. If texture is the dimension 32, 32, 64 by 64, and I only work with powers of 2 here, I see. Because it fits me better. So it's not complete. And the idea was, but this is extra data, man. And maybe in Bizarro Underground I changed my strategy. Let me see to remember. No. But I haven't done these changes here. Ah, no, we still have poly data. Okay, somewhere else I changed my... Okay, when I ported this on 286. Because I wanted to reduce memory there. I had some issues with the 64K segments. I need this for flexibility. I have a 3D mesh. Some of the polygons use texture 1, texture 2. Some of the polygons can use different palettes. Now, all the examples I have shown you, it's the same texture plaster all again. But the idea was that I could have a cube where texture ID will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5. So I would have a single mesh with different textures, different palettes. That would be cool. That you could change. I can pass. This is how I have designed this at some point. Initially, it was just one texture pointer and one palette pointer, and that's it. But now, I've made something which is a bit tedious to work sometimes, where you can init several textures, and it would allocate one texture pointer, but size of texture multiplied by number. The texture is just a struct, okay? The texture, it has a pointer to the bitmap. It doesn't contain the bitmap data. It has a pointer to the palette and some other informations. Every text has a different width, height, and shift and now I could on the type, maybe I don't have. I can have a texture that is non-power of 2 in the engine, so I can ignore those shifts for the power of 2 textures. But anyway, that's the idea. So this object is small. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It is 44 bytes. This texture is 44 bytes. So this init textures will make a texture. At the end, it will create this kind of object. but it would be an array of text. So I can say text 0 reference texture, and that's not here, that's in my engine. Texture ID, polygon texture ID or something. So later my engine is reading that stuff, could be some overhead. So that it knows what cell object, although it's reading during the creation of the cell structure, which might happen in the precalculation. So it might not happen every frame, unless you want to real-time update the texture. Yeah, I've put some thought into that, but and the thing is I have to be careful, because usually when I have an individual texture, I tend to be like here, pointer to flat text. But don't make this mistake, because these are now isolated pointers, and what are you gonna pass? It has to be like that. It has to be an array of text, which is a pointer. So it's even this one. It's like you said this thing. That was the design. So now those texture is an array of texture object, and those are the structs. So they can have the same bitmap. The same bitmap pointer. And here, my initial init textures was taking one BMP, and it was setting the texture with the same BMP. Now, because of that, because the BMP exists, it just goes and sets the bitmap. It doesn't allocate. But if you put a null pointer, so my load texture, maybe I couldn't do it this way. My load texture loads the cell. Why didn't I pass the source pointer of the cell? I have to see that. Because I could have passed the source pointer here. See, it's a bit of a... because this one is going to allocate new space, and I will mem copy the source point get cells data size in bytes temp cell to that allocated space. Oh, I might... And then I unload the cell. I have to remember why I did that. Why could... oh, I know, no. Because if you load cell will allocate its own space for that. I need to write my own load cell. Or an init texture which call my own load cell. It will allocate space for the cell, which is a small structure, and it will load the bitmap. And now, if I unload cell, because I want to destroy this object, this one, the data in this one will be destroyed in this pointer, and you lost the data. So I go to load so that I copy the data. So I have that. Now, why do you unload the cell? Because my init texture okay, this texture object is a different, it's not a cell. It's its own structure that has, it's 44 bytes, as I said. Isn't that? I counted. So why every time I load the texture? Because I have to use this load cell. It's also creating this object, which are like 60 bytes, I think. 60 bytes plus bitmap data. I don't want to lose those bitmap data, so I mem copy them, and then I lose it. So I don't want for every texture I load to create both the cell object and I have my own cell object which are sitting on the polygons, and later I will pass this bitmap from the texture. Because I had to use the official load cell function, I had to go through the path. And I'm passing the width, the height. I have some helper functions now to read the CCP structure and extract the bits per pixel. Now the interesting thing is, how about the other cell types? But no, now I can load 8 BPP and other stuff. You know, because this texture is separated. I wanted to separate it from the cell. This texture has the bitmap and the palette, and that's it. Now it's unsigned char, but this could very well be void because it's just space. Okay, this could be holding 4 BPP texture, 16 BPP, 8 BPP, whatever. It's as much space you are making. Get cell data size in bytes. This will inspect the bits per pixel and other kinds, the width and height of the CCB, and possibly more things, and will tell you this is the exact data size of the object, and it's not only going to give the width and height. I'm not storing. Oh, I am storing the bits per pixel. Because I'm okay, I'm passing the time default, texture type default. But I am passing the BPP. Ah, see. No, I am passing the BPP. Oh, now I am. Now, okay, the engine has evolved now. It's not just. This is not right anymore. I think I fixed that one. Definitely on Bizarro Underground I'm using 4 BPP textures, 8 BPP textures. I think I'm using 4 BPP textures. And in some case 8 BPP. Maybe I have some compressed and uncompressed stuff, I don't remember. So I'm ranting about the engine again. We are more than an hour. So now, because this load texture returns a pointer, I can just say you can do that, and you can either, this is not correct, okay, because that's not the engine. The engine needs it like that, like an array in sequence, not pointers far away. Because it's gonna say this 0. It's not gonna say, I don't know. If that was a pointer, it would have to do something like that, maybe. But I ended up with a simpler design. So yeah, I'm ranting here. Time to do something. So temp text, load texture. Mem CPI has to be that. I really need to improve. I can have a load texture that takes a char pointer of, and even though so it allocates. It could populate. You could give. Yeah, I don't know. That's the destination. Skybox text I. You can give a reference for the pointer in the array. And temp text size of texture. I think that would do it. And now load texture, text init texture. And it goes to init textures because that's how alloc mem. I don't want to make a free texture. I'm going to have to hack it right now. The idea is I could make a free texture where I would say free mem text size of texture. But and that's fine. But someone will think that free texture will also free the bitmap. Someone would think that this function would also do free mem text bitmap, find the size of bitmap, text width, text height, text bpp. Yeah, you get it, or something like that. Someone would expect that. If text bitmap is not null or something. So I'm not gonna do this one now because I need to rethink about it. I need to redesign this one because this is misleading. All I want is to, when I allocate it, this is the array of textures, but now not this array, not this one. We want that one, but this one, this temp text, I want to remove it. So you know what? After load texture, free mem. Now too many allocation and deallocations. So I'm going to remove it. I was doing it here. In reality, I have to design it in another way. This whole thing. One thing is to also have a load textures. That would take something like that, maybe. Iterate through num textures. I'm not gonna do it now. And now I'm I spent so much time, but you know, again, I'm not doing this for the view. I'm doing this to unlock me from procrastinating, to motivate me. Skybox, okay. Let's see if this. And maybe people. Oh, we're here. People see my experiments 3DO and learn something from it. Learn how I work with this code. And this particular code is outside on the public. This is public. Sphere map. Ah, yeah, I also did the sphere map effect. I did a port, but it's just the C version of the sphere map, not the one I was trying to do on the 286. I did a lousy C version of the 3DO CPU completely, which is kinda nice. I think I'm showing for anyone who hasn't seen it. Now I divert myself. I've shown that here. The color is weird. 60 FPS. Is it V-synced? Possibly it's V-synced. I remove the V-sync. 60C, but that's on Phoenix, it's not on Real 3D. Okay, so I have, you know, in this open repository, it's public. You can see stuff that I'm doing. Now I forgot. Okay, what I wanted to do. See, I diverted myself again. I'm on the, you know, yeah, I have all these different effects. It's on the sprite test. I have the attempt to do the Julia software rendering. Very slow, the water effect. And these effects I always create. I don't. What the hell do I do? No, I do. I use the sprite engine, which behind its I have a sprite object, struct, which is saving a cell for you, so you don't even need to. Yeah. So it's a bit concealed. You don't see any cell here. CCB pointer. And even here, you see a texture. You don't see a CCB. I have isolated, but the texture is not having the CCB though. The sprite has the, if you open the sprite struct, it has the CCB pointer. The texture doesn't because I wanted to be completely separate. I wanted to be information about bitmap data. That is later attached to a cell. And every polygon has a different texture ID and the texture pointer you pass. I had that kind of. So a mesh might get an array of textures and the texture ID per polygon to point there. And it does create one CCB for every individual polygon, so that it pre-calculates everything that it can before real time. Only the vectors from the cells are changed as the polygons are changing, are moving. The polygon areas are changing. Because I'm setting up way more stuff. So, Again, see, I diverted again because I wanted to do something. I'm going to the mesh test, I'm going to main. Since I'm going to see if I'm loading stuff. Oh, I added skybox. Oh, whoa! Ah, no, it's here, okay. It's already added on the list. Sky, I thought I added it now. So mem. So we will see, because now I'm not displaying anything, I'm just loading the textures. Will it crash first of all? Will it freeze? Will it load? Okay, we are loading. And see the memory? The memory is already very, very low. That was my fear. 229. So now I'm going, that might mean that the textures were loaded. Now, as I say, those are 250, 16 bits per pixel and 6 of them. Now, the video has 3 megabyte, but some of it is already taken by the engine, by the mesh. And I might have a larger arrays for pre-calculation and stuff. Yeah, it's a bit bleak here. Something I try to improve on the Bizarro Underground side. So, why did I lose? Okay, so I have the 256. If I put the 128, but at least we are able to load the 256. Just right. The 512 would be, and it would be a huge texture for 3D. Even the 256 might be a big performance bottleneck. So the memory is much better. And of course, why is the VRAM so low? Because I, this is the VSync mode. I'm showing stuff from the engine again, and I have maximum VRAM buffers. If it's not this particular one, so you remove the maximum. The video RAM is 1 megabyte. The main RAM is, but the video RAM can be used as a main RAM too for some things. So now, you see it flickers. It flickers because there is the sport DMA behind clearing with black background. But see, the memory is a bit bigger because some of the video RAM was free and it could be reused by some of the other. Now, if I press to VSync, now VSync doesn't. I don't have the button anymore. It flickers because we go so fast, even with double buffering. When the speed is low, with double buffering, the DMA clearing that is asynchronous, you don't have a problem. So when I wanted to make benchmarks, I had to set the maximum video RAM buffer, which happens to be 6. This is overclocked, of course, remember all the times. When you look out and the object is not in view, it doesn't handle a lot of it. So anyway, let's go back. And we saw now the memory is important. I will keep it. And I will put back the 256. So in a final game, you're going to, I don't know, enable VSync, maybe put triple buffering at most. And the final game is not gonna hit so fast frame rates. Maybe I could time somehow. This was a problem, you know, in OpenLara. We were trying to solve this one, like, but if your game is always, if we make a skybox now, the skybox will always erase the background. So you will not, the DMA erase with DMA with single color, we will not need it. We will not need to use it. We will not need to use the DMA. And here, I'm just showing irrelevant stuff. But okay, you see the engine. Yeah. I've built so many systems here, but it's hard to remember. You have to go to core. Oh no, core. This one. I think I had it. Ah, here. No clear frame. So if I will put no clear frame instead. But this is what's going to happen. I know what's going to happen. Yeah, this is going to happen because I'm not clearing the frame, of course. And we are in double buffer territory now. So funny. I have all these options, so if you want to make your engine and you get used to it, you can say, okay, in my game I want vsync or I don't want vsync because I'm making a 3D game and I have variable frame rate. Now, if I either render a big cell, black screen cell, or if my game always has a background like a skybox, I will not need to do this anymore, which is enable the DMA fast clearing. But if I'm displaying a simple object, this is not good because it's taking a lot of memory. Anyway, we have to go back. I have diverted so much that I don't think I'm going to finish today. So much that I could scrap the video and... Okay, so the memory is little, but we can barely load the 256 textures. And I assume they are loaded. Now, next step, because, oh my god, skybox object. Let's see how we will handle that. Here, skybox object. This is the priority. 0 means it's the first to render. I have some kind of layer priorities. So there is a list. If you can add a lot of objects in one, so it will go get all the objects from 0, render them, then get the one. Usually here it's nice to put the grid, the skybox, the stars. Unless you want to render something in front, like a HUD. But the HUD could be rendered with a sprite at the end. You know. The hat would come last, would come not 1 but 2. So because it's in the... You might want to render a skybox, then render some faraway clouds so they could go to priority 1. Then on priority 2 you could have your object in front. And also, if you add a lot of objects, they will also be shortened between each other. And their polygons will be sorted, but not between each other. The polygons of a mesh. So there is a lot of... Okay, I need to get going. And make this a part of this one. Make this a part of this one. I don't know, put it here since it comes first. I can show a cube first. The way I used to see if we have the skyboxes. I'm lost now. I need to... I had that before. We have the skybox object, and I see we do that. Sure we do. So there is a different mesh is the vertices and the indices and the triangles, and the object is a different object. The object has a mesh, a pointer to the mesh, and it has... I have isolated them. Position and set object 3D pose and the rotation. Because you might load one mesh, you might load the teapot and display it 100 times. So you could have 100. That was the idea. 100 loaded obs and one loaded mesh. So maybe I should... See, it's... I'm so stuck now. Am I here? Okay. And we need to init here and pass it to the object directly. We don't need to do anything else. Params. Mesh cube. I'm working in an awkward way, I know. I'm just going back. I should be remembering the thing I did. I have some default methgen params for. So I wanted to, with my procedural generation, to pass things. Instead of, this might be, instead of doing params, blah blah blah, with this size, I have some functions. I know there are better ways possibly to do it. And the params here, size, divisions, but some of the procedure generation doesn't use some of them. So it's like a unification of different params. Now, I should have a better way to do that. But most things will just use default params, which is just the size. And the size is going to be passed on various places. It's the size of the object. I have this as, so the plane, the cube is half size minus plus, so that the size of the cube will be exactly that. I know it's a bit icky. And then I have the grid. I have the total size of the grid, and then I have the divisions. Why am I nulling that? I'm not using them after all. In the grid, I'm not using it. This is when I was creating things and I had an array of points. I am using this for the number of stars to generate. I'm reusing it. The particles, numproc, procedural points. So there are things that definitely could be better. Because before that it was good. Before that I was said init gen mesh in size. Then I started adding int A, int B. And I'm like, fuck this. What if I have a procedural generated mesh that needs extra params that is not here? I could make a void of params. At some point I did void params, but in one object these params could be an int, they could be a float, a char. I'm like, no. Maybe make a structure, because these are traps for things to go horrible. But this is not ideal. I need to think of a better way. And maybe can do some high level where I pass a string, you know, like size equals blah blah blah, comma, width equals. I'm not on the right place, by the way. Maybe. I'm lost now. So now, init sky object, make default. Okay, this is the size. We only need the size. Yeah, I mean, put it 60, put it to 56. Option flag. Oh my god. See, why aren't the option flags here? This is horrible now. No. No. Mesh options default. Yeah, we can start with a mesh option default, but let's see, it's on the engine mesh, okay. Oh god, it's a good system, but it becomes complicated. You have to handle them. You can do render points, render billboards. If we do particles or stars, these are options that are passed on the mesh at the end. You have the software renderer, which in most cases will fail. If you want lighting, I don't want the lighting. Because the skybox will always be lit. Without lighting, I mean shading, so environment map, that's only for the software render. Fast map cell is the default. If your textures are power of 2, fast map cell is what you need. And by default, I have fast map cell and CPU polytest. For backface, this is for check for backface scaling. Now the cell hardware has backface scaling, but it's horrible at times. It's producing noise, especially with big polygons on tight angles. Maybe it's good for certain things, but and no polyclip, no polysort, no sorting of the polygons, polyclip. Clipping with the edges of the screen. Why would you disable? Maybe in the stars. Now, no translate is something new. And in the stars, the 3D stars are far away. And I might use this on the skybox too at some point. So I could enable. This is an extra thing. I would render the 3D stars, and if you fly far away, you could reach the stars were like on a huge sphere made of points. You could get out of the sphere, you can get out of the universe, but you don't want that. You want the star to be something distant you can never get, and also only rotate them. And the easy thing was to disable the translation. I might do this for the skybox too, actually, but for now I might not do it. But let's put it here. Poly sorting will not be needed in the case of a skybox, but CPU polytest is good to do. Why would you not do polyclipping? Maybe the particles. Something with the particles. You don't want to enable lighting, although we will do just to see. So it ends up being the default for sure. The no translate. Yeah, no, we saved that, didn't we? Yeah, no translate. We might not need. Right now, we might want to see it because it's going to be a cube, and Even now, you don't need polysort. We'll see. No, yeah, 0. But I see. Oh no. Yeah, params. Yeah, what object is that? It is a mesh gen params. Make default. Okay, I'm returning a copy for some reason. And not a reference or a pointer. Come on, I have wasted so much time, I cannot. What's your fucking problem now? Ah, yeah, I forget. It is the stupid. Do it here. This is why you have to put your arguments on top if you write C. I don't know if some later version of C. Yeah, I have to work like that. I forget because I'm doing some C++. I don't know if later versions of C don't require you to do so. And the texture. Oh yeah, forgot about this. And look at, we are going to pass the skybox texture. But this is the pointer with the 6 sides. Now we need to start rendering something because it's enough. We are 2 hours over here. Oh look, here it is. There are many issues. Oh, why is it so clean? Yeah, first of all, it's behind the. Yeah, it's just a box, okay. I'm going to remove that. Maybe I will make a part 2. And now we have the box. Oh, why is it so slow? Because look, it's so fast because it's just that the 4D emulator cannot catch up. So the 3D emulator is getting it. So it's the same texture. So I don't think I don't think we need the polysort because it's a convex object and it's handled. So we can disable the polysort. Now, look what happens if you enable lighting, of course, and you will get it. Yeah, the object is lit. I cannot rotate it. The lighting comes in front. I have a vector lighting that is checked against its polygon, and I will set it using the cell PIXC flag. Set it is mean I'm doing the lighting calculation manually, but the cell is rendering darker versions using the same texture. Yeah, that texture that could be good for if I make it in the skybox, but as I told you, we don't need the lighting. So you enable these flags and my engine will automatically do. Based on the light we added, and now you can, this is a strong you can, good. Take the light and there is a direction, it must be a direction light and not a position. I haven't done a system with multiple lights. So when I create the mesh, I'm creating normals in various ways. And these are used to determine, change the cell PIXC flag with different values so that the cell draws a darker version. Not a dark, it's the same exact bitmap and it does some shading. It's flat shading, not guru shading. At least the hardware has that. Or it also has flat to make it more closer to white, like brighten up. So I could make some glittery object that goes from normal light levels to very bright ones. So there is enough there. But the lighting normal calculation, normal against light vector, these are CPU based, obviously. But I'm trying to use the cell as much as I can. The 3D transformation, I'm using the matrices, but anything else with the CPU. And I see now my engine and I'm happy after a long time. Although, as you see, there are a lot of places that could be better. I could redesign certain things. And I always do, you know. Some of the things have changed from iteration to iteration. I continue to change it. Now, what if you put no translate? Actually, if you put no, oh, maybe if you put no translate, we will already be inside. Because it's not, oh boy. I haven't thought about that. Yeah, okay, and I know. What happens? First, let's make... Ah, that was the size. Now, the size is not going to matter, but let's make it big. It's not going to matter, I think. Okay, maybe it will matter. It will matter. Let's make it big. What does translate mean? Now it's bigger. Translate mean... Didn't I remove the... Did I remove it from here or not? I think I removed it from here. Because this needs to have... This was the teapot. It needs to be affected by lighting. Yeah. Actually, let's also do... Now, translate means I can move around. And if this is going to be a skybox, I want to be inside and be able to rotate around. Now you don't see it, of course, because of the polygon order and the back face scaling. And the other thing, okay, I want to before we do, I want to be done with the I'm thinking now. Put it faster. This is bright now, okay. Why is it going so fast for the 4DO? But this is not real. This is not real because there is going to be cell overhead. This could be, if you run in Phoenix, let's see that. And I'm thinking, I might just enable the vsync. In Phoenix, let's see. Now I see 3 textures. The other 3 cells are never drawn. Okay, at most okay, but if you are inside in a skybox, you might be able to see more than 3. You might be see the front, left, right, up, down, 5. And because Phoenix, as you know, accounts cycles for the cell. And actually, if you say ignore, it's also very, very fast. Now the cell renderer of the Phoenix is not very heavy. It's better than the 4DO, so the emulator doesn't suffer. So you see it's a lie, but right now this is accounting for the 256 textures, okay. When I look at here on only one quad. The other quads are never sent to the cell engine, never sent. If you go, 2 of them are sent now. 3 of them. So each of them has a big 256 by 256, 71 frames. It's going to be a bit less on the... Now I'm testing stuff. Now I'm going to put the 128 texture. And let's see on Phoenix how much of a difference. But it's not as bad as I thought, but on 3DO this is gonna be a bit slower than. And now you see, 143 here, all 3. 124 frames. So with smaller texture, it doesn't matter how far, you could be there. Okay, now, this is the rendering output. You can have far away texture and it will be slow. So this is the 128. Already blocky. I think this is going to go... my engine has problem with clipping things. That's what the no clip does. Let's try that. If you do, and we might have to enable it, thinking about it. Although in the future I'm going to subdivide. What does no polyclip do? In this sense, I fixed that in Bizarro Underground, but it's not complete yet. Still have its issues. In this engine, if a polygon goes outside, I use this for particles because some particles were partially outside of the screen and they would disappear. And I normally do this to... Yeah, let's see. So here it does. Here I can zoom as much before I go too close. But now this is drawing... Let's do it like this, okay. Let's go very close to the corner. And you see some distortions now. I can get it right. Now if you do 100% cell account cycle counts but no outside, so pixels that are drawn outside don't matter. It's the same. Okay, maybe I miscalculated. Yeah, 112. Surprisingly it doesn't. I don't know what Phoenix does. It was about this super clipping and no super clipping thing. Maybe because I have enabled the super clipping, it is. Yeah. Anyway, I'm just ranting about it. I'm going to. Okay, this is something that I want so that polygons very close up don't disappear. Because the skybox will always be rendered, even if a polygon is. If the polygon is on the sides. Yeah, well, that's the thing. And I know I will have to subdivide, which I might do on another episode. I'm mostly showing you the engine here and see what we can do. So I might not finish my... I remember, this is bad, but I'm doing it just to fire me up and work again with something. And it's 5, so at least 2 hours have passed. Okay, we want to do something else. We have passed the texture pointer, but we see the same texture. Let's fix that one, which is the next step. Now that should be easy. See what I normally do. I need to remember that. I pass the text, but that text can be a pointer to a texture array, as I said. But by default, set all poly data. Is this what I do? Oh, I don't do it for the stars and the particles because maybe this is just set all poly data. Is it on the engine? Okay, where is that? Is it engine mess? Yes. Now, by definition, I need to improve this somehow. No, not that one. I do have it. No, I don't. I get the poly data from the mesh. This is already initialized in the mesh, allocated. I have to pass the num points. Okay, what I'm doing here, and we will see. This is it quads? Is it 4 points, 3 points? I think 3 and 4 are supported. And I'm passing a default. This is a default texture ID. This is a default initialization. And I say every poly is pointing to the texture 0 and palette 0. Now we don't have a palette, but I have to put it. So and here is what I do. I had the rhombus and the prism. The prism or the pyramid. I have different pyramids. The thing is, for every object I say set all poly data. This object is heavy, everything is quad. it's like default values. Every polygon is quotes. Every polygon texture index, texture ID 0, pal ID 0. And for most of them, I just copy paste this one. But I'm not doing it outside. I'm not doing it outside because I had object. I had the pyramid, and the pyramid would okay, would set everything to 4, but I have different versions. Ah, all of them are 4. Okay, I know why. So in some objects, prism, I say prism. I set all the polygon number points to 4, but I set the 3 and 4 to 3. So it's a bit manual procedural generation because I add 3 quotes in this prism. I don't remember, 3 quotes, and then I add 2 triangles at the end. What object was this prism? So it's very manual because I had the object that had both quads and triangles. Now I still call this so that it's clearing with default values. Here the rhombus I set with 3 because this object is full triangles. Prism. Where did I make a prism? See, it's very manual here, and usually procedural generation is like that unless you make a tool. Or maybe, and this is much better because I have functions add quad indices that they add in succession. So you add in succession vertex and quad and you reset all these pointers at the beginning. It was much worse. The code was much worse. I already simplified it, and I will simplify it in the future. So when I procedural generate stuff, I use my own stuff. So now, this is gonna do that, but that's wrong. But I need to init. I will have to end up... you know, since I'm going to do every... I don't need to call this to reset. I have an I because I'm using this here in the I. There are always things on the code that can be improved. So design so that yeah, I was working with a pointer. Just don't do it with a pointer. I. And that's it. So it's always interesting when you design something and you reuse it and you as the programmer says this is something I built, and in some places I have a bit of trouble to using. I forget, I look back, okay, what was this doing? In some cases it has been, and you in future iterations you fix things here and there. Because it's not easy to make an engine and maybe you design, I mean, imagine if you have to use someone else's engine. There is a lot of thought. Now I can put, so I'm not going to call this one. I know that my it's all quads, but here's the texture ID is increasing. The polygons number, I think it's 6. It has to be 6. It's 6 quads. 6 quad indices. So this can simply be I, as long as we create the right order for our... Because we have to put the pieces in order, if you get me. The back and front and top and so on. It depends on the series of the indices and the vertices, how we have set up. I could change. I could say, okay, this is the, I think this is the front polygon. It goes front right, back left, and top and bottom. I think that's how it goes. Yes, that's why. I remember I always generate cube like this. I think it like this. It goes front right, so that I also set up the indices in counterclockwise. It could be clockwise. I've learned. I'm used to do a counterclockwise. So back, right, front, left, top, bottom. So that those 6 in succession. Imagine if I had a generic model loader. Sometimes I don't like to work like this. Sometimes I prefer procedural generation because something changes in the model editor, but an artist could give me that, like, take it. Here is your skybox and the cube that is inside, and even subdivided, and I could just use it. But I need to make special tools to load specific 3D model formats and specific for the 3DO, because this model format will have UV coordinates and stuff that the 3DO doesn't support. So you understand now why I'm working with procedural generation. And even with bitmaps, before loading cells, I would just procedural generate the texture, because for me it seems more tedious, but it's okay for me. It's fun, and I'm going to put the palette ID 0 because we don't have a palette anyway. So instead of calling this one, I do it manual here so that I can just iterate through this. And I could expand this to, but this is a special case. Now, let me do something. I'm going to comment out no extra RAM buffer, no disable vsync, because I'm going to run the 4DO at bigger speed, but so that it is already. It loads faster. See what we've done. Is it a different? Oh yes. Is it the bottom? That could be the bottom if you were inside. That would be the top. Don't look it as a cube. Imagine you are inside. Imagine you are inside. But it doesn't. Yeah, you see. Oh, see, we have more problems now. This has to be upside down. If you get me. Oh boy. See, there are so many problems. Because it depends. What do I mean? I mean, how do I set up I'm just giving quad points. How are my cell vector? Is my cell vector this and this? Then the bitmap will start from here and drawing like this, opposite. Is it this? These things are very important. It will go like this and go down. So the way I'm constructing see what I mean? The way I'm constructing that affects the order the cell is drawing the bitmap. Top to bottom, bottom to top. Now let me see. Oh, I have the original files. Is this the back, possibly? Yeah, see. This is flipped upside down. Okay, I see. It's flipped upside down because, and maybe there are two things. We can take all these PNGs, flip them upside down, and convert the cells again. But we can, and also our system worked. Our system, as you see, we have different textures, one in each side. Some of them look similar, but or we can go here and the order. This is go 0, 1, 2, 3. I don't know if we have. I might have to do manual stuff here. I believe that if I do 3, 2, 1, 0, seven, 2, 7, 4, 1. You don't define the texture here. You don't define. You define the order where you the 4 index point of the quad. And I believe that if we reverse it, it's going to alter. It is the way from those points I create. Oh, whoa. Oh, whoa. Okay, that's another thing. First of all, oh my, they might be right. See, now we see the inside of a cube, which is funny. Some things still don't. Because there are two things that, oh, do you see the noise? Oh no, oh no, oh no. Oh God, I might know. And see, there are many problems. You see the inside now. First of all, up to down is correct. And you see the inside out because this goes clockwise. This is counterclockwise. You understand there are so many problems. I mean, I don't expect to give this engine to someone, especially someone who is not knowledgeable, and make sense of it. You know, although these things in computer graphics make sense, but it's not. What happened is normal. It's not a bug. It's like, okay, you reversed the texture coordinates. The polygon order. You reverse the order of the indices, and so now it's clockwise and not counterclockwise. So if it's clockwise and not counterclockwise, oh boy, it's not gonna work. I have something, but this is going to give the original cube, I think. Let's see if it's giving the original cube, because this is going to and I could have done this manually. I didn't need to. Okay, so, but it's going to give you the original. Oh, whoa, what? What the hell just happened? Sorry, what? Oh my god. That's the weirdest thing. This is like, okay, we can fix this like that. Let's revert this order thing. And we might need to do that. Why? We might need to do what we just did. But why? Oh! Because it's on the most load. We disable something there. Oh no, no, no. We make them into billboard. See, guys, this is a different argument. This is only for the loading mess. But the load mess no, load mess. Sorry. It's passing the mesh option on the init mesh. In the init mesh, the mesh option is render type. Oh, whoa. I have flip polygon order. Load option and mesh flip flop. Okay. So all I do is call that flip mesh poly order. Which might be doing num points divided by 2. I know. Well, so the thing I did manually, and we will need to do it at the end. So after we load, we need a skybox. We can just throw a okay and flip the mesh poly order, and I think it's doing, you know, the thing I did manually. This instead of 0, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, 0. And if it's a triangle 0, 1, 2, 2, 1, 0. And it might divide by 2 there to do half of it in the code. Oh, damn it. Flip mesh poly order. It's an engine mesh. We have engine mesh, we have procgen mesh. Guess what? Okay, time to put that engine mesh. It's a flip poly. Come on, flip mesh poly order. But there is a flip poly order. Oh my god. I only use this here through the loading. Okay, I have a flip poly order. This should be flip mesh poly order. Huh, surprising. Because I never called it from outside, it never complained. I don't know if it took the header file. I always have some. I try to minimize the warning. Okay, this is something with the flea animation experiment I didn't. Just commenting out something. And it did flip it. Of course, it's wrong. I think this side should be. If everything flips horizontally, not vertically. But see also I see the inside of a cube, but this is what we have to see for the thing to go for the. Now obviously it's wrong. For the skybox to work, we have to make it like the inside of a cube and not the outside of a cube. We have, you see, that's what I was afraid. I have to subdivide. I cannot do that. This is something, it's going to be a pain to make a good skybox. You could put some huge size, let's see. But then, oh. See, there is no way. This is why, and I knew I had to do it. You can have huge polygons at angles without things breaking apart. I'm gonna put it, okay, maybe that's small. Put it 124, but look now. We don't need those. No translate. That'd be interesting. Unfortunately, we need a lot of work to make the skybox thing. Oh, it doesn't even. Where is it? I should have been able to see something. It should be possible to see something. Is it too big? Is it too small? I wasn't expecting that. I really didn't expect that. Oh my god. It looks nice like that, but when you rotate. So okay, I'm not gonna do it in one video. So there are many issues. First, I need to subdivide those codes. So I will update the procedural generation to subdivide the codes. This will not be a big code. Now the one facing in front could be. Also, the reason is I mess option no polyclip. Yeah, you see now it is clipped. Whoa. We have so many problems to fix. Also, the texture don't, we have to flip the textures. Okay, I know what I can do for that. I think this has to flip horizontally. 10, 10, 10, 10. Could it be that we messed? When you are inside, that one is front, that one is back. I mean, you see, we have a lot of other problems. I think that's what I think. Maybe it's right, left. Let's see. From the right side, oh, this connects now, and this connects. Oh, everything connects. Come on, I want to see it. I think all sides connect. How about this? Does that connect? Maybe everything connects. I'm gonna see if it connects from outside the cube. Okay, fuck it. Go here. Yeah, I guess make it a 512 something. At least we solved that one. So the skybox connects in all sides. That's good news. Down, okay, down it's very common. The texture is very simple. Up, it connects up. And we have the issue. Now, why do I want, unfortunately, I wanted this to work. Let's put something big. At least. You see also noisy points. There's a reason for that. And we don't want to do that. We wanted to use this option. And you might see, why not translate? No translate doesn't mean no rotate. It means no translate. Rotate the points, but they're always from a zero origin around. Oh, there are stuff. Okay, okay, it might be a different issue. I think if polygons disappear, it's hard to see what the issue is. It's really hard to see. Because if these were dots, okay, let's see if it's possible if we put mesh option render points, and that's it. Just render points. Now it's just 4 points. Yeah, okay. Now you might not be able to see. It's the 4 points of the... We're inside the cube. Now, let's make it small. And see if we can see the points. They disappear for some reason. Yeah, it doesn't change the fact. So if it's hard to see, if we add the other object, see those 4 points of the cube remain. So if I move closer to the... It's like stars, it's like faraway stars. And this is what I did with the stars. I can never travel. If I travel, I can never travel and reach that point. Else I could reach the edges of the skybox, and I don't want to. This is not a Truman Show thing. I want the skybox that is always be relevant to the player, let's say. And that's the thing I did for the 3D star, because in the original 3D stars you could travel, and also when you were just translating, the movement was jerky, because you were translating against a huge sphere of dots, which you can physically reach. You don't want to for skyboxes and stars in a dome. You don't want to. You have to make them in the background, and only the orientation should matter. So I have this flag that will disable the translation. It will only do the rotation. So I would be able to move my object. It seems to be right, but it's falling for other reason. And maybe it's falling because I have to subdivide them, but at a certain distance it works. Okay, maybe relative to the object I will understand, unless there is a bug here. I don't understand it. Should I make it enormous? If I make it enormous, I'll have an issue. Should I make it small? It's always attached. Okay, 1 point there. Could be just numbers. Let's make something small. It still could be a bug for all I know. Oh, could be. What if I do something only for the dots that I don't do for the polygons? I'm going to finish this episode. But then I might want to avoid the polyclip. I don't know. It thinks we are gonna have a hard time making this work. Ah, see. You know, you can take a screenshot and see. Skybox. You can pretend that you have an engine. If those polygons didn't disappear. No, I think the numbers are big. So see, if I move here, I'm going close to the skybox. Because I am translating. I only need to rotate the skybox. Also notice those noise. Those noise is another thing. No, I think I wish I could take a proper picture of the skybox working. Okay, the polygons are just big and that's it. You have to subdivide. That's one thing. It looks nice like that. I almost have a skybox. Unfortunately, does the width of the texture will also play a role in the cell calculation? This is the lowest. This is a very small skybox. See, that's the problem. When the polygons are close, you just can. I mean, this thing in modern GPUs, it will do you the Z buffering and everything. It will just work. Which means I have to see why this totally breaks it. And I will have to alter my generation to subdivide every side. And I would have to kinda take this code. This is for one grid. Now I could generate 6 grids. That's an idea. But this grid goes XY, it goes X you know, it's a floor plane. You know, you have to rotate 90 degrees and 90 degrees, or now you can rotate in place, but it's better to generate because it's going to be a mess. I want to generate a single mesh which is reusing some grid points, if you get me. That's what I want to do. And maybe it has 4 subdivision, maybe 8 subdivision. That might be a lot. 64 codes per side. Maybe not so much. Maybe 4 will do it, maybe 4 is not good. It seems that the skybox might be much harder than. I knew it's not gonna fly like this, but it might not fly even with few subdivisions, because some of the polygons will be so close or behind. Now I am clipping the behind, but a big polygon on the sides starts from very far away and goes behind. But if I subdivide it, now I do have a subdivision function, but it doesn't work well, because I'm going to subdivide it manually, okay? But I do have a and I would have to, it has to be a texture, it's going to get subregions of the texture, which I haven't done. I think, but we can try something stupid in the engine mesh, I think. Where is that? Is it here? Subdiv mesh, oh my god. Oh my god. This is an experimental shit. It's okay for flat shaded. Also, it's not going to correct the texture, obviously. I mean, I'm doing it like this. DST mesh. Is it deleting the original one? Oh my god. This is not deleting the original, and it might create a new one. Let's see what it will do. Maybe you needed to polyclip. Let's see. Flip poly order. You're gonna see the freakiest thing ever. Subdivide once, 2 by 2, 4 by 4, 8 by 8. Because You will see the most horrific thing now. Or it will kinda work. I think you will see the most horrific. Oh my god. Okay, first of all, you see the same texture iterated many times. Because I have to get sub-region of that. Actually, oh my god. It kinda worked. Do you see the texture on the side? But now the emulator died. Because these are huge. Okay. These are huge 256 by 256 textures that the emulator has to process. Okay, we have on the edges. So if I do the subdivision properly, it works. Now you see at the edges, you see some polygons disappearing. And okay, maybe this is something I have fixed on Bizarro Underground a bit. Ortho polygons will always disappear. Now the thing of course with this skybox is that you can go close here. But now we can have it's amazing how nice it will go. It reads the mess and gets a code and subdivides in 2x2 and 4x4, creates new messes, which I don't delete from memory. I think, or do I delete? I mean, okay, at least this proves it that subdividing will fix some issues. That is interesting. What if I subdivide? Okay, what if I subdivide once? You know, this is one quad, 4 quads, 2x2 quads. Then it's 4x4. And you see it even in the texture. It's too big. It's too big. We need more subdivision. Also, can that be more far away? Maybe this one. Is it a problem? And again, the texture, now you see the subdivision because of the texture. I'm plastering the same texture. You know, it doesn't matter because, you know, I'm traveling and I can reach the end of the skybox. It's just bigger now. So maybe the size doesn't matter. Maybe smaller. I'm not sure. Okay, maybe it matters here. It matters because it's here. But this might not matter because this will be inside me. I'll just keep it like this for now. Maybe put it like this. Okay, what if I do two subdivisions? 4x4. So the previous is 4 quads for 1. Now this is 16 quads in one side. That's already. Maybe that will do. That's already. If that skybox is far away, maybe you don't need more than 4x1. And those black disappearing, I can fix them, but you know, so at this design, you don't have a big polygon. You have 4x4 polygons. But you can always go crazy and say, okay, 8x8, 16x16, 32x32. Oh, this is going to crash the memory. Or 4DO, I don't know. It's gonna be very slow for 4DO. Might have crashed the memory. Good news is a 4x4 seems to be alright. 2x2 seems little. Oh god. No. Yeah, and that could be a memory thing. So, and see, those texture coordinate offsets I can fix. I can easily fix. You have to set the width of the individual, for every quad, the individual texture, the width should be not 256 but 64, for example. If it was the 4x4, now this is the 8x8. The 8x8, the texture are far enough, and you're not going to travel. In the final skybox, you're not going to travel near. And now this gets slow if we were to run it in Phoenix with actual cycle emulation. Cell cycle account for cells. Account cycle cells. You will see that it's okay. This is going like that. Is it 12 frames? Exactly because you have all these small codes that have a big texture, it's of them. If we ignore the cycles, it goes faster but not much faster because we have a lot of polygons. But I have to say, why are they, there's the high part, it doesn't matter. So if we, you're not gonna have that because the final skybox, if the texture is 256 by 256, put Phoenix, and you subdivide by 4, then each of the quad will be 64 by 64. So it's going to be the exact same data, just spread over quads, you know. Account for cycles. So this is if you plaster the big texture all over the place. But if you're going to subdivide, the texture will be subdivided. So it will be much better. That's the good news. I think we are in a good place. I should be able to. So if you put the 256 texture, it's not just 256 over one side on the skybox. It's 256 for every subdivided. And this is not going, in the final one, you know, we will read subregions of the texture. The final one where I properly map it. If I properly map it, it's not gonna kill the cell. Now this is killing the cell, obvious. And still not bad for all of this texture being 256 16-bit color on its own. So you disable the cell cycles, which is good news because when I finalize it, it will be much. The texture performance won't be. I shouldn't be able to move, as I said. I should this disable translate that I use for the star. I have to figure. Maybe I only implemented for the 3D points of the stars, and I haven't properly implemented it inside the polygon engine. Because then I needed to only stabilize the stars to be always far away. And only the rotation, the orientation of the geometry, not the translation. This is good news though. And the thing is, I manually subdivided. So maybe I don't need to do the work manually with the procedural generation. But I have to see if I'm adding unnecessary memory, because every subdivision I pass the pointer and I return init a new mess. And what do I do with the old mess? Do I delete it? Do I delete it after? And the only thing is, okay, there is, I can make this subdivider to create the subregions for the texture, thinking about. I could do that. I could do it procedurally. Else I have to do it manually by hand. That could be good news to put some, especially power of 2 texture, a big code and manually subdivide it with this method. It's an algorithm that goes through the code and subdivides it. But it does it only for initting. We're not far away to have a proper skybox. So if it's too much work to manually rewrite procedural generator the way I did the grid mesh for the 6 corners, I could use this inverted cube with the subdivision. I wasn't expecting that it would work. And there are issues with the black at the corners, the black, but I think I have a better algorithm on Bizarro Underground that kinda takes care of those. And if I fix the translate, and you can never go, it's not gonna be. If you go close, it's a bigger problem, the disappearing. Yeah, this is going to be, especially if you move away, there are more polygons. So imagine it's like 16 on each side by 5. 16 by 5, it's 16 quads by 5, 80, and one side is not visible because on the other side, and it has 80. 256 by 256 texture each quad. It has a big one. 16-bit by 80. Okay, you don't expect the 3DO to read 10 megabytes of texture data per frame. You know. But if I do the proper subregion texture, it's going to be 256 by 256 in one side. By 5 sides is going to be that. If you are looking it from outside, but from inside by 3 sides maybe, or 4. Oh, it depends. Because you will never be outside, you will be here, and see, more polygons go out, less in this. You will be rotating around the skybox manually, not translating. So very few polygons. Now it's 15, it's going to be much better. I'm glad for that. Okay, this is, we need to figure out. I see why I removed the polyclip. I'm gonna see what it does. I think it does what I think it does. I need to see why this doesn't work. I hope it's not the polyclip. It's not the polyclip. I tried it. Ah, yeah, I haven't tried it. Now that I subdivided, could it be that the polygons are big? Do you think it should work now? No, we have some serious problem. Oh, and you see some points are... This is an engine problem. Now look, no matter how I move, some of the points are not red. Okay, I think I will be able to find this. This is funny. Some at our origin 0, really, if you see about. I can figure this out. It's very possible that this no translate is only probably implemented for the 3D dots, but not for the polygons. There might be something extra to do with the polygons. Okay. I guess it wasn't bad. I spent so much time. Half of this video, the thing is, okay, it put me back to work. It made me remember my own engine and some good things I have built with that and some things that needs fixing. And I was about to quit, but this subdivide mess already shows that. I'm giving the mess. This is how I did. I'm giving this mess and take back a pointer to the mess. But what does it do with this, with the source mess? Now it needs the destination, so more extra memory. It goes through the source mess, reads the vertices. I have a copy vertex. I create extra vertices, insert middle vertex, add triangle indices. It works both for triangles and quads. I could... the source mess is passed and I'm returning the destination mess, so why not... I could... Technically I could free source mess. But to free the source mess, you have to have a destructor, which I don't have. You don't need to just destroy the mess, you have to destroy the vertices. Okay. I can check the overhead with the memory. Because I don't seem to be doing it. This seems to be a lazy... This was supposed to be... I used this here. I'll show you where I use that. I use it for the same reason. When I try to make a... And this thing has big polygons, and when you go there, see, now they don't disappear, mostly. I can go close to the... They disappear because I'm inside, of course. They are still visible. Oh my god, there are visibility issues. But now I can go below. And that's why they are... Didn't I sort? Previously I made it impossible to... So hard to make a 3D engine. Now, this thing used to be a quad. This big, but now it's not. It looks like a quad. It's really subdivided quads. Everything with flat texture. So you go close and it doesn't disappear. There are some strange. Okay. So it kinda behaves better. This is the software rendered object mixed with the... And also, look at the stars. It's what I say, the translate. I can rotate, but I move. I never approach the stars. I move. The stars are always a background. They are 3D dots that only rotate around the origin, but I never translate the origin against the player camera. And I had some issue, and now so it's like it's a real space where some object you are not supposed to reach the star, you are not supposed to reach the skybox. Yeah, so I had to do this fixed to my scene. And also previously when I was translating, if I was going like this, you will see the stars moving around because of the precision. Now they are fixed. As long as I don't rotate, they are fixed. They will only rotate. So you see this translate. And this is the same thing I have to use for the skybox. But probably I haven't implemented this flag properly on the polygon engine. And only on the... And I would expect to work the same, but maybe there is something I know, some hack I had to do with the points, because the polygons are also based on 3D points, so what the hell. And that's the software render thing that will crash if you go too close, because it's trying to render. That's another thing, how to do some seamless software rendering. Oh my god, I'm just talking. So you see what I use this subdivision there, and I realize suddenly it solves my problem easily if I fix the textures too. Which on the flat shading, I shouldn't be doing it on the flat shading object, I will see. Anyway guys, I had to do this to 6, okay, maybe it's 3 hours. Or 2 hours. 2 hours and something. I need to stop. I will think if I will continue with the sequel where I try to fix these issues. Hopefully it will take me less time. Or something else. Maybe I'll do some work on the Bizarro engine and I will stream that. I will see if I will stream. Because who knows. I just needed to do that to motivate me to go back to work, because recently I'm very demotivated. Anyways, see you next time.